birth to my son Lorenzo. Happy birthday. All right, so this Torah portion is, I don't know how to say it, but I think it's Re'eh, which means sea. And it's in Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26 to chapter 16, verse 17, and Isaiah 54, verse 11 to 55, verse 5, and in John chapter 6, verse 35 to 51. And so in Deuteronomy chapter 11, it starts off with God saying that he sets before them blessing and curses. They are about to cross into the Jordan after wandering for 40 years in the desert, and they're about to take possession of the promised land. Yahweh reminds them to be sure to obey all the decrees and laws that he has set before them. And in chapter 12, he reminds them that there are other people in the land he's bringing them, and that they worship other gods, and that you are not to worship God, you're not to worship me in the way that they worship their gods. And that he will choose a place to dwell, and when he chooses that place, when they enter the promised land, that they are to bring everything he has commanded to them at the places he chooses. And in chapter 13, he reminds us to be careful of false prophets who worship false gods and who come to deceive us. And in chapter 14, he goes over the clean and unclean foods and reminds us that we are to eat clean foods because we are his people and he created the animals. He knows what is clean and unclean. And in chapter 15, he talks about tithes, which I learned that there are 3 tithes. There is a weekly tithe of your 10%, and every 3 years you're supposed to take all your tithes and give to the Levites, the orphans, or the widows. And on the 7th year is the Shemitah year. It cancels all debts. And in chapter 16, he goes over the Passover and Shavuot and Sukkot and tells us what days, how to keep them, and how we should keep them, and to set judges over our people. And once again, he reminds us to not worship other gods but him. So this year has been pretty trying for us. It was a test to show us like how good God really is. And so we own our own business. We do concrete. Any of y'all need concrete? Santiz Concrete. But our business has took a hit like 80% from last year of profit. So that's how we get paid. And so it was really hard. There was times where we didn't see that there was a way, but we never went hungry. We never had our power cut off. We never had disconnection notices. We always had provisions, even when we didn't know how. And so I say that because in Isaiah 54, it explains perfectly that if you are a child of God, even when it seems like there is no way, he will make a way. And so in Isaiah 54, it reminds us that God is in all things that come our way. And as a child of Yahweh, we know that he is working all things for our good. We need not to fear the waves and the storm rocking this boat of life we are in, because Yeshua is in the boat with us. And he is the one who silenced the storms and calms the waves and gives us peace that surpasses all understanding. All you got to do is trust in him with your life. Amen.